It's so sad. That's one of the things that I feel terrible about, is that not a lot of people have a good transition. And, we have all these TRS programs. It was Transition Readiness Seminar. That's what it's called. No matter if you serve a year and you refuse to book COVID vaccine and you're an asshole and you got out and you got all your benefits of that, you get that 1 week course, right? And then if you serve 30 years, you still get that 1 week course.
Yeah.
So imagine someone that has done 10, 20, 30 years and like all they know, especially in the Marine Corps, because every other branch is different, right? The Army is close to the Marine Corps where they kind of like, our military. And then the Navy is just like basically a gay military, a gay Filipino military. And then the Air Force is like a freaking Google, right? It's like a Fortune 500 company. They're not really even military. They're just civilians with benefits.
The Space Force Alpha.
Yeah. And Coast Guard is actually really cool, but we just think they're lame, just that, because they're freaking badasses, man. That's super cool.
All those drug busts.
Yeah, that's that guy. I remember he was like banging on the freaking sub. Yeah, I was like, dude, that's so cool. I feel like that was like, they were like, dude, this is gonna increase our recruitment rates a lot. You can imagine like the typical farmer like in America that like growing up like a teenager. He's like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bust up subs. It's absolutely cool. Every other branch, they handle the military differently, and then they handle transitioning differently. What I believe from what all my friends, have said to me in different branches is like the Marine Corps, and maybe we have some bias, but man, it does not prepare you very well. It does not. Because first of all, we're the least funded because we share our funds with the Navy, and the Navy takes all like 90% of our money. That's what it feels like. It's really probably like 70%, right? And we're left with such little funds for our equipment. Our equipment's always broken. We always make that joke. It's like, oh, this is the Army's past hand-me-downs. And sometimes I feel like it's actually true on a lot of things. Like our M9s, they've shot they've shot like millions of rounds through it, and they don't even replace the barrel. It's like, bro, that doesn't cost that much. Why aren't we replacing the barrel? When I shoot at it's fucking flying like vertically now, like it's gonna kill us. That's how bad the M9s are. I mean, the 240s, like it's just terrible, man. They jam like crazy, and Humvees and all that stuff just always broken. Radios always broken. Then transitioning, something that's super important. Yeah, it's not like defense, like, oh, it's gonna make us lethal, but it's like, dude, these people are served their time, now they're getting out. What are we gonna do for them? And then for the Marine Corps, they're like, oh, we're doing a lot of stuff, like Congress, look how much we're doing, like please give us funds. And then you have these Marines go through this 5-week course, this 5-day course that was in person before COVID, and then now after COVID, I believe it's like all freaking remote. The average person with, like, in today's society in 2023, we don't have that much attention span. So like imagine like a 19, 20, 22 year old getting out of the military, clicking just like, I don't give a fuck, what the hell, what do I need to know this? No, like that's not the way to do it. Let's say like you didn't do any of it. On the 5th day, you're just gonna click all through it. That's like what people do anyways. There's good stuff in TRS, but you really have to seek it out. And no one's holding your hand, and they act like they are. Oh, we're here for you. If you have any questions, they don't give a crap. And it's really sad. The Air Force, I'm not saying every unit is like that, but there's some people in the Air Force, they're like, dude, yeah, I only did 4 years, and they like approved my time. I went to TRS, I did Skill Bridge, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, man. They're totally fine. And even in the first place, like when you're an E3 in the Air Force, you can go as a single person, you can rent and have BAH and stuff. You don't have to wait till you're E6 or married in the Marine Corps, right? So the lifestyle is so different, and people don't understand that. I mean, I have an Airbnb guest who's staying here who looked at my plate carrier and was like, that's weird. I would just buy a weighted vest if I wanted to exercise. I'm like, bro, if that's the first thing you think of when you see a plate carrier, an armored vest is exercise, is like, dude, we're in completely different worlds. Like, what the hell?
I'm doing this because I can't sleep at night.
I'm like, I'm paranoid that someone's gonna come in my house and kill me, man. I'm not paranoid that I'm not getting enough exercise. Like, what? Why? Like, that's crazy. It's just like unfathomable for me. It's like, wow, so if that's what he thinks, right? Then you go back to like what he probably does in his unit, which is nothing like that whatsoever. They probably work at a gym, like doing like buddy stretches and stuff, and that sounds awesome, to be honest. I wish I did that instead of fucking carrying logs and shit on my fucking back.
600 burpees.
Yeah, fucking dumb ass ways to just exercise in the Marine Corps. But it's just so sad because there's so many things that you need to work on. If you had the opportunity to go to college and not have to work and all that stuff, man, you'd go back and you would go to these courses and you'd have electives, you'd have like gen eds, right? And these gen eds, some of them are fucking just stupid, man. I had swimming, like 101 or something like that. And I was like, bro, I literally don't need this. Like, why the hell am I paying for swimming? There's going to be classes like English and communication, which is really good. Like, it sucks, but it's really good because it helps you articulate yourself on paper or in typing and stuff like that, right?
Very powerful.
Yeah, if you need to write a resume or a cover letter, you can articulate what differentiates you from other candidates. And like your cover letter is extremely professional, using really good vocabulary words and grammar. And then they're like, wow, this guy's super hireable. Presentations and public speaking, if you can't even go on an interview and like, they need that. Military people need that because a lot of them the majority of them, the majority of our freaking workforce is E3, E4, like, and before they got to E3, E4, they were 17, 18-year-olds from high school. Some of them super awkward, right?
Still very developing.
Yeah, they're kids, man. They're kids that can't fucking smoke cigarettes or drink alcohol.
They really want to.
Yeah, and they do it anyways. And then they get kicked out because of their, you know, it's crazy. But they don't have the life skills that they need. And then their transition process is just to click through. And it's like, dude, you're setting these guys up for failure. But then you look at you survey your Marines, right? And there's so many bright people. It doesn't matter how dumb academically they are, right? Like some people are just not academically inclined to go to college and all that stuff. But some people, man, their interests. I remember one of the people that I knew was he was like a scientist, dude. He was like doing science labs in his freaking room, and you would never know unless you asked him about his hobbies. He was considered dumb. Marine Corps, out of all branches, is considered the most dumb branch anyways, like gorilla apes, you know, or something.
A lot of the smartest.
There's so many bright people out there. It's absolutely amazing. If you don't hold their hand, or if you don't like guide them properly, if you don't have no mentor or menteeship or something like that, they're gonna get out and they don't capitalize on their potential. And it's super sad. And not only that, like that's one section that's like bad with transitioning readiness seminar and their program for us to be successful as civilians. They always like say, oh, this is gonna make you better. You know, you're gonna get out, you're gonna be successful. You tell them you're a Marine. None of that shit fucking matters, man. Like if you're about to get out and like they won't improve your courses, you have anxiety like crazy. You're like, dude, I'm about to get out. This has been my life for 4, 6, 8, 20, 30 years. And you're not improving my course. My anxiety is super high. I'm freaking stressed. Money always stresses me out. We don't get paid that much anyways. And then now I figured out I have to pay for it myself. Like I hope I have savings. Not a lot of people have savings, right? After 4 years, some people get out with a couple $100s, man. And it's so sad and it sucks. And then like there was an article there I recently posted too, and it was like the government finds, the studies find that the military transition program is not, you know, successful. It's like, oh, fucking, oh wow, no shit. Thank you for discovering it. Like I'm glad it's getting traction. I hope something comes of it. Your transition in the military, that process of transition, depends on the people that are working your transition, how fucking much they give a shit about their job, and then the civilians behind it. If the civilians behind it don't care, they're just going through the motions, because that's what they do, man. It's a lot of veterans that get out and they don't give a fuck. They're like pieces of shit to the military to go out and they just like malinger at a job. Yeah. And then there's also like civilians that are just assholes to us, dude. Do you remember how many civilians were just complete assholes to us? Because they're civilian and they know that we have to like be like sir, you know, we can't call them by their first name, or also like they'll call our command and be like, that guy's being disrespectful. They're just fucking
kick this guy out.
Yeah, freaking douchebags, man. But that's who's in control of our future, you know?